Hey y'all, I'm coming to y'all unwinding for the evening. I just wanted to share a few things on my mind. I just was scrolling on Facebook and a post said, I can't wait to see the woman I am 5 years from now, financially secured, growing and glowing and finally happy. And 5 years ago was 2019. And why in none of my phones is there anything? None of my folders, like, literally I go from 2016 to all the way to today, and it's just a gap from, I think it's March 2019 to like February 2020. None of it backed up, nothing. 5 years ago. So what I remember is, legit, that was like the hardest time of my life. I was fighting for my life, okay, in 2020. In 2019. So 2019 coming into 2020, I can't even remember what I did for New Year's, but I wouldn't have had company with her. What did I do? I don't even remember what I did. Like, that's how much that year is a blur for me. I know it was one of the hardest years I had in my life professionally, one of the hardest years I had in my life in my relationship, and in my marriage. Basically, that was when a lot of it crumbled, to be quite honest. Like, that's when it was kind of like, all right, done. Like, I couldn't no more. I just couldn't no more. And I left him in February 2020. But 2019 was crazy. I remember the struggles. We struggled in 2020. I think after August, and I'm going to be naked, y'all. After August, we didn't have a sink in our bathroom. There was a hole in our floor. Now, mind you, my husband is a minister. We lived above the church he served at. And there was a hole in my bathroom floor instead of a sink where me and at that point, I think my babies was like 2 and 3. They daddy. Didn't feel like that was the biggest problem in the world while I did. So, kind of made me see my husband differently, because your family is not your priority. You love church to almost a fault, and pushed me away from religion, helped me understand what spirituality was and the difference. And I think that part was great for me. But other than that, like, I ain't like that. I didn't like the way life was during those times. And I remember the struggle and not having what we needed. And then finally I bossed up. Like, that year was when I first started getting bread. I moved to a different department in my business, and talking about, we lived it up. We went to Great America. Like, that year, like, I started being able to not just exist and start living, trying to live, but I had dead weight I had to carry, so living wasn't fun, because he was always a Debbie Downer, and I'm not even talking about him. Nope, you won't get it. But I was finally starting to be able to live on my terms, I'll say. That year was the first year I started even thinking about home ownership. That year was, like I said, the first year I started stepping into having extra money. Like, that was one of the moments where we both had good jobs and we had a good schedule. Like, I only worked 4 days a week. I was out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but I was money hungry, so I still went in on Fridays and got paid overtime every check. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, we was living, man. Like, and I was stacking bread because I wanted a house. I didn't even want a building. I wanted a house. I just wanted a backyard and all that. Like, that's where I live at. Like, the backyard that I dreamed of. Like, back then, and 5 years ago, I was like, we moved above the church, and the apartment wasn't up to par, but I was willing to invest as a practice lap into my own home. I even had me a little girly she shed set up with my breastfeeding chair back there. You know, that chair still was comfortable because, you know, it slide back and forth like this. And I would paint back there on my little enclosed back porch. I had got me a washer and dryer installed in the apartment by my own stove, refrigerator, because I needed 2 doors, honey. And I needed a refrigerator to make ice, because why? The only ice trays I'm making, only ice tray I'm filling up is my whiskey bottles, okay? But like, I was finally starting to be able to like buy more clothes and dress how I wanted to dress and present myself how I wanted to present myself. And my baby was gone, so it was different in how I would be able to wear my nails. That's when I first started growing my nails out. Like, this much of a nail, I know for some of y'all who nail, this ain't nothing. But for me, my cousin would have called these adult nails, and she said I used to wear childish nails. She said your nails are childish because they were too short. Y'all see my leg. But I was just starting to spread my wings. 2019, my cousin was already gone. So 2019, I had other friends, but I also fell out with a lot of the people that I had like always been next to. So it made me kind of spread my wings and experience and explore new friendships. My friendship with Destiny flourished during 2019. Like, I was so blessed to meet her that year. And, you know, I recently saw that she's doing well. I went and stopped by her housewarming a few months back. But like, everything that came together during that time came together in such a wonderful way. And ooh, my camera bad. It's gonna go on YouTube. Y'all look, it's I'm just coming to you from my bedroom. Okay. But like, so much what I dreamed about being and doing, and like, that was the first time. Like, when we first moved over there, like, I started decorating it, but you know, I was still tweaking and getting stuff like words of affirmations and stuff in my house. Like, I was just starting to do all of that year. 5 years ago, like 5 years ago. 5 years ago, most of what's in my notebook, that work I told y'all that I started doing and I ain't finished. That's why I can't find 5 years ago. That's why I can't find the pictures. My work was 5 years ago. If I find those pictures and those videos, I need to find them, but I still have the phone. I still have the phone. I just never took it to Apple. I'm gonna get 5 years ago back, but just from what I could think of, I'm her. I'm every bit of who I dreamed to be. And I remember standing in the kitchen and crying about my husband, like, kind of making a decision if I was gonna move forward with leaving him. And I was like, I'd just be a wife without a husband. And Spirit checked me, like, why the hell do you feel like you got to be connected to a man to be valuable? Like, why do you got to be a wife without a husband? And that's because I made equal to keeping the house clean and being feminine, going to bed and all of that as a wife. I'm just a woman. You know, my son would be like, oh, Mom, you like a woman. He don't say, Mama, you look like a wife. He say you like a woman, because his baseline for who he understood his mama to be was a wife. Like, being a wife or not being a wife don't validate me. That just meant I was married to his daddy, because that's what he remembered at first. You know, his daddy got a different wife now. I'm still a woman. That ain't compromisable. No matter who I stand next to, like, I celebrated this woman for my birthday in every way possible. Now, understand, this woman enjoys pleasure too and likes to be stimulated, but I enjoyed this woman and did every part of me and screamed at a baseball game and danced at a concert and had a fancy dinner. I did all of it. I swagged and surfed because I'm a woman. But funny now, I understand what it meant in my prayer to be a wife without a husband. I understand why God wanted me to detach from the title. But I'm a woman who keeps my house and I make dinner. And I'm still beautiful at nighttime. And I garden. And I'm happy. And there's no husband that keeps me feminine. I'm a woman. So looking at the woman that I am, 5 years later, I don't even remember my birthday from that year. I think that's when it was church. I think I spoke at church on my birthday that year, or I was at choir rehearsal on my birthday that year, but my birthday didn't mean shit that year, 5 years ago. Birthday didn't mean shit. I don't even think my husband made a big deal. My kids might have did something. He might have gave me some flowers, but I don't remember nothing. I legit don't remember nothing. But that's how much fucking turmoil and ready I was to get. Like, it was just never ending arguments and fights for no fucking reason. Oh. That year, I made a decision. And I worked the hardest I had ever worked at AEP. It was OEP because I was under 65. I worked my way to the top 10. They had to turn off my phone to slow me down. I was the first motherfucker there and the last person who left. I was determined that I was getting out of that shit. So looking at financially secured and what I've been able to secure for myself, a home for me and my boys. I drive a nice car now. Like, I'm good. I'm good. And I ain't sitting on millions of dollars, but yo, when shit go wrong, I can handle it. And I got help. God always look out for me. Somebody always got me because he sent them. Good. Whether it be by way of a hookup or even somebody who just gonna do it for me. It'd be wonderful. Everything worked out. 5 years ago, I just knew my life had to be different moving forward. 5 years ago is when I first started looking to live out south. Five years ago, I was looking to rent an apartment in a 2-flat out here. What's funny as hell, y'all, is me and my husband was looking at renting an apartment right down the street from my ex. I would have literally been in walking distance from that Negro with my husband. Ain't that so ghetto? Just ghetto. Okay, but, oh, y'all really chilling with me tonight. It's August 12th. It's one of the most special days in the year besides my birthday. But anyway, 5 years ago, financially I was broken. Spiritually I was broken. Emotionally I was broken. Everything was broke that year. But it was gracefully broken. Like, that was the year that shit started breaking for me to fall into this place. So to see that message, and I seriously thought about 5 years later and looked at my phone and saw that it was legit a gap. Y'all, it's a gap on my phone. It's a gap. I got 3 Facebook pages. It's a gap on all 3 of them. I even went to my husband's Facebook page. Y'all, it's a gap during that time. 5 years ago ain't filmed nowhere, but it's all over my notebooks. Ain't that something? Y'all, 5 years ago. I guess that's where I need to go. You know, they say get reclaiming my time, right? 5 years ago is when I manifested this life. 5 years ago is when this was where I live, where I sit, what I'm doing. Started being my prayer 5 years ago, and I'm here. What the fuck am I gonna do with it? Y'all, I planned on smoking and going to sleep because I'm tired. I was hollering last night at the SWV concert, not in that way. He worked. But, he worked. But, tonight is just about me chilling by myself and going to sleep. And I did not know I was going to come across something so prolific. So excuse me if y'all can tell that I've indulged in I've been kicking it with my homegirls, Mary and Tequila. So, look, life is grand 5 years later. So, to the woman I have become 5 years later, to the girl, the woman, the young woman 5 years ago who wondered if it ever was going to be all right, if there was ever going to be enough, if she was ever going to get through a month without her account being overdrafted, no matter how much money she made. You are. You do drop the dead weight. You do stop the drain. You do stop wasting energy. That's when I first learned how to protect my energy, because energy vampires used to suck it out of me. All those lessons you learned back then, remember them. That's all I can tell you. The woman 5 years ago, I'm talking to you. All I can tell you is don't forget what you learned 5 years ago. Well, 5 years later. I don't know who I'm talking to. Y'all, I've been with Mary and Tequila. But y'all know what I mean. Everything that got me through that hard part, like I legit took my energy back. In an abusive situation. When I say stood my ground, what they say, standing on business. Baby, I found ways to protect myself and protect my husband from touching my energy when he was inside of me. You hear me? That's how much I ain't play about wasting energy. I'm talking about energy on the budget. I'm on my way somewhere, so I can't waste me. Oh, this gonna be the most ghetto YouTube. But I said I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna give it to y'all raw. This either gonna be the thing that make me viral because y'all laughing at me, or the thing that make me viral because I'm relatable. Nonetheless, I never thought that today would be today. I never thought that my life would be my life. Because I thought that I was going to find a way to navigate through it with maybe him changing or being fixed. And I was reading, throwing cards for him. And so, like, Spirit was giving him, like, you know, you need to work on your foundation. Like, it was good messages, like, to us and stuff. And then only one of us listened. One of us changed. Only one of us grew. And that made us grow apart. And in December of 2019, $3,000 was stolen from me of earnest money for us to purchase a townhome. That was legit the last straw. That was kind of the last moment, the last thing that I allowed to fail because I was connected to the wrong somebody. From there, I left, stayed with my mom for a couple of months, left there, moved to Kentucky, and rebuilt my life from scratch. So come August of 2025, the woman who walked in, that was the first time I had stainless steel and all of that. in 2025, in 2020. In 2019, I realized that I was and who I was. 2019 was the first time I go to the beach just by myself to just be. I just wanted to just be. I'm her. So comfortable with myself, people think it's weird. I love it here. Good night, y'all. Continue spiritually evolving and loving freely. It's Miss Raqi signing off. Good night.